Hey everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer and welcome to a new video playthrough. Today I'm playing RipCrypt, right here, RipCrypt. This is a brand new solo RPG. Well, you can play it multiplayer, but I'm playing it as a solo RPG. And for me, what grabbed me about this game are the rules and the mechanics. It's very different from anything I've really ever played before. Now, I play a lot of RPGs solo, but the word RPG is sort of a gray area. This one actually does feel closer to like what we would consider a D&D game or a Shadow Dart game. There's a difference to it between just chucking dice. There's almost a role-playing aspect and a talking out over what the situation is. Now, one thing, I did play this about a week and a half ago, and after I uploaded it and did the editing, something happened. I lost most of the sound, pretty much all of it. And I thought about dubbing over it, but I couldn't remember everything that it was said because I couldn't hear it. And you see my hands and you see me pointing to things, but I couldn't remember what I was referencing. So I've decided to just go ahead and start the video again, which is what I'm going to do here. Now, if you haven't watched my first video, you definitely want to go do it because that's where I did this. This game, RipCrypt, it runs in it's played out in snippets. So imagine a dungeon that that takes you 3 or 4 sessions of multiplayer to play, right? Each one of those sessions could be considered a sprint. In this game, sprints are short snippets of the entire adventure that you play out, which is what I'm going to do here. You can see there's not a lot here. This is a section of the cavern here that I have mapped out with these blocks. And I'm going to play this and show you how the dice work, some of the mechanics, explain some of the role rules and things like that. And then in the next video, I'm probably going to finish out this dungeon. This one was not intended to be a lengthy dungeon. I made this one short so that it would make, I think, for a good intro to the game. Now, when I rolled it up, I rolled for some random things that I wrote on here that will trigger a little bit of role-playing for me, like what I do or what my heroes do. There's not enough detail here to go through it all, but it gives me a sort of a jump start to narrate what's going on. Now, the other thing I did was I set the difficulty of this snippet to normal, which is a value of 5, and we'll come back to that in just a minute. When I played the game that the sound didn't work, I went south. I'm going to go north, just because I want the south part to sort of get out of my head, and I'll do something new by going north. So what I've done is I'm using these tiles. These are called dungeon blocks. I do not have cavern tiles to make it look, like a real cavern. So I apologize that it's very Minecraft blocky looking, but I'm just simulating this first leg of the dungeon. Now, here's the story. This is all taking place underground. Typically, the humans live underground. So it was this vast, devastation that everything has been in ruins. It's underground, and that's where you live, in these communities. My community has a new, well, not new. There is a virus going through the community, and they've figured out that this mushroom. They did some, somebody figured out that this particular mushroom could help reduce the fever and allow someone to get over the sickness. Problem is, they don't have much of the mushrooms, but they believe they know where the mushrooms are located. They're located in this small sets of caverns. Now, my heroes only know this from word of mouth. They don't have a map. They just know roughly the area. So they're not sure where to go. I, Jim, know where the mushrooms are, at least from the last game I played. I know where they are. They will not be in this first room, just so I can play the game and show this to you. Now, in this game, you're going to be using 3 dice. These are called fate dice. The first one is your timer. It's your hourglass. It will count down from 8 down to 1. There are certain times where this will get reduced 7, 6, 5, and when it gets down to 1 or 0, when it falls to 1, something happens, an event, and that event is usually something. It can be dangerous. It could be something good. It could be a trap. It could be an enemy. You never know. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play through this, and again, if I make any mistakes and these are mistakes, please point them out in the comments, because I want to know. I want to learn this game really well. I don't want to keep making mistakes, but I know that when you play a solo game, because I play a lot of them, inevitably you make mistakes because you don't have a friend or more than one friend to point out when you make an error or to remind you, hey, do this, do that. So sort of depending on you guys to help me out there. Now, this second number is the difficulty. Remember the 5? There it is. That you will roll at different situations. I've gone ahead and set it for 5 initially. We're going to do one quick movement of my heroes. They're going to do some actions, and then we're going to roll for events. There's not always necessarily an event. This is called Reset the Hour to 8 and Start a Delve Tour. We're doing a tour, and what we're going to do is just this area. This is going to be a tour. So the first thing I want to do is introduce you to my heroes. This game works in a compass: north, east, south, west. That was your third die here. I have this die that has the compass points on it, so I've set it to north. You can roll this randomly because your heroes, all your heroes, have think of it like an alignment with fate. Gimel is north. Danu is west. He's my magic person. He uses what's called Glim, which is the name of magic. Nasid, who is my, he has a longbow. He is associated with east. And then Yerman has a broadsword. He's sort of a fighter type. He's associated with south. So because it's north, Gimel will go first, and then you. That's just who goes first. After that, I believe I can do it in any order. But usually, the direction die will tell you who goes. So on the next time, we will flip this over to east, and east is Nasid. Nasid will go the second time. And then there's another thing. When this die defines which hero fate is sort of on their side. It can give you advantages and disadvantages when you make certain rolls. Excuse me. All right. So let's go ahead and get going. There is you can do things two ways. You can do them with care, or you can do them with haste. If you do them with care, you get 3 actions. If you do them with haste, you get 4 actions, but there's a disadvantage. You take you risk getting some disadvantages on rolls, especially in combat. Combat rolls, you don't want to be doing. You want to be going slow when you can, but there will be times when you need to shift into a faster way. Now, there's also light. Light plays into this game. I'm not going to get into that here because this is a short one, but there is darkness and light, and you should be carrying candles or torches. So just assume for now that one of my heroes has a torch. They do, and there's rest periods and healing and things like that. All right, now. One of the actions you can do is a move. Move is based on your gait. You have 4 abilities. You have grit, which is your fighting. Gait is your movement and accuracy. Grip is related to leadership, and Glim is related to magic. Guts is your health. Okay, the higher your gait, the more you can move per turn. With a gait of 1, the rule is you can move 4 or run 8. If you run, when you do the movement, I want to give you the page number. If you've got the book and you want to look it up, moving is on page. Come on, where are you? Sorry. Movement is on page. Come on. I really plan on bookmarking this book, but for right now, I just haven't had a chance to do it. Movement, shooting, attacking. Here we go. Moving. So each one of these is 10 feet. So a movement of 4 means you can move 4 squares or 40 feet. It is set by your gait, as I mentioned. Your gait, your movement speed can be reduced if you wear heavy armor. All my guys are wearing leather, so I have no effect on their armor. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get Gimel because he's associated with the north. He'll move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He decides to stop, and he wants to do an action for his next one. He's going to do a search. So when you do a search, that is on page 32. Okay, there are what are called easy trials, normal trials, tough trials, and hard trials. All of the trials for this particular sprint are going to be starting at 5. So what is my action going to be? Well, I could climb, hide, jump, recover, reload, search. I want to do a search. I want to search this area right here. So it tells me that I'm going to do a trial with grip. Now, Gimel, his grip is 1. Okay, Gimel is the one here. Gimel is got a grip of 1, which means I'm going to roll 1d8. If his grip were 2, I would roll 2d8. So what am I rolling for? Well, I'm trying to equal or beat the trial difficulty, which is 5. I rolled a 4, so I failed. And it'll tell you, on a failure, nothing is found. Additional searches in the same area automatically fail. So he whistles back, I don't find anything, and you can move them as you want. So I'm going to go ahead and have Terman, 1, 2, 3, 4. He moves up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to move them up, and that is the end of that little phase of action. Now, on my map that I drew, I wrote that this curve right here that they're coming up on, and I marked it with orange here, there is a hazardous exposure. Things start getting hot. So what I could have said, if he had made a successful search, he might have noticed that the air was getting warmer, right? That's what's cool about this game if you're going to run this as a GM with other players. The game is such a roll, and you can almost roll the adventure up as you're playing. I mean, I know most RPGs have that ability. You can roll it, but this one really does some cool stuff. So nobody detected the heat, so they're going to keep going. I don't lower this yet because we're still in the same sprint. We're going to go forward. So Gimel, this time we go to northeast, and the one who has to go first is Nazid, who has the bow. He's going to sneak through 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're getting pretty close here, and he definitely senses something is wrong. There is a hazardous exposure here, and we're almost to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the hazards section, and it's on page 74, and it says exposure. As the heroes enter, the temperature shifts sharply, rising to scorching heat or dropping to a bitter cold. Now he sees through this area. It's very dark. He can kind of see the walls, but there's like a heat coming off. It says, it is a trial that I'm going to have to make. On success, I can tough it out and move through it. On failure, the hero cannot tolerate it and is subject to drag until they exit the affected area. Drag is like that thing I mentioned to you where it's negative, like a disadvantage. So if something happens in there, it could be very disadvantageous. So I'm going to go ahead and move everybody up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 4. And now we are to northeast, we are to south. South is Yerman, my strongest character. He's up front. He says, I'm going to push through. So he steps through the passage, and I need to make a hazard roll. So it says, when entering a hazard area, heroes have no choice. They require a trial action to overcome. Increasing trial difficulties can make them lethal. So what do you roll? Well, sometimes it'll tell you, but it's basically just you roll 1d8. It's not. I don't think it's based on it's a grit trial. Excuse me. It is. It tells you on a hazard it's a grit trial. Now his grit is 1, so he's going to roll 1. And remember, I'm trying to beat 5 or higher. And I'm going to re-roll that off this thing. Let's see. I'll roll it. Can you see this? I rolled a 7. He makes it. He pushes through, and he whistles back. He says, it's terrible, but if you grit your teeth, you can do it. So everybody's going to have to make this. So he steps on. That is, that's Nazid. Nazid is, his grit is 1. And he rolls a 7. He pushes through. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Next is, the wizard is very hesitant. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is Gimel. Gimel has a grit of 2. So now I roll 2, and I take the better one. I rolled a 2 and a 5. The 5 means he just pushes through. And then lastly, my wizard moves through, and my wizard, Danu, has a grit of 1, and he rolls an 8. Oh, he just laughs at him. Man, what were you talking about? That felt good. Makes light of it. But we're not done yet, because they pass through here, and they don't understand what's generating this heat. But over here is a glowing furnace, a glowing bunch of, we'll call it lava, but it's stone. It's stone that is glowing hot. There's lava behind it. And perched up on the edge appears to be some sort of growth. They don't know if it's the mushroom or not, but they have been told that this particular mushroom does grow in like warm environments. So somebody's going to have to go take a look. So who's it going to be? Well, let's go to northeast, south, west. Now west corresponds to my wizard Danu, and he has glim skills. None of them are going to help me right now. He has a bind, which is a magic that helps him. I think. Let me read it to you. Bind says, ethereal strands of aura entangle a target. That's not going to help me. He also has DRTZ, darts, which is like magic missile, and that's not going to help. So he just shrugs and says, I don't know. Now, this is going to be a dexterity type event. Somebody's got to climb through this hot and look for a way to get up there. And that's related to gate. Gate, and if you ever wonder what it is, flip to page 14 and it tells you gate is for moving, running, and shooting. So I'm gonna take the gate as the one that would be related to this. And looking at my heroes, the one with the most gate is Nazid, who is my little, he's sort of the little shrimp guy here with a long bow. So he takes his bow. He takes his bow off and he hands it to the wizard and he says, watch this with your life. This is my most valued possession. He does not want to risk damaging this. Why? Because if I fail this, he knows if he fails and falls, he might destroy or break his bow. So he has handed his weapon off to the wizard. So he is unencumbered as far as I'm concerned, and he will get to roll 2 dice when making this attempt. So what happens if he fails? Well, let's get to it and see. So I'm gonna make a roll as he moves to the corner. So when he steps in, he's got to make a roll, and he rolls a 6 and a 3. So far, so good. He dances from one hot plate to the other. He's like, "Ooh, that's hot on my feet." But so far, he hasn't fallen. It hasn't caused him to fall. Let's do it one more time and see what happens. I rolled a 5 and a 1. Well, he manages to look up there. Now, here's where, as a GM, you would say, okay, you see a small growing, it's some sort of flowery looking thing, but it doesn't look like a mushroom. But what do you want to do? Well, obviously he's going to grab it and bring it back to Danu, who probably has the most knowledge of what they're looking for. So to grab it is pretty easy. He takes it. Now he's going to have to get back. So he jumps down and makes another roll, and he makes an 8 and a 3, and then he hops off and he shows it to them. And this is where you could say Danu needs to be able to identify it. So let's see if Danu can do it. Difficulty is 5. Danu, now this is related to smarts. So grit is for strength, endurance, attacking. Glim is reason, intuition, and the use of glimcraft. It's the closest to smarts I can come up with. Let's see what happens. He rolls an 8. He shakes his head. That is not it. He knows he just takes it, and he's like, as a matter of fact, I think that's almost like that He goes, look at your hands; they're already starting to swell. So some sort of poison ivy like thing, and Acid takes it and he throws it, and it lands on the hot stone, and it just sort of burns up, and he's not happy about that. Now they're at a dead end. They look. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have Gimel do a search. It uses grit, and remember, we're doing an exploration. I'm looking around the area, and on page, I'm doing a search. On page 33, it says it uses grit. Grit is 1. You know what? I'm going to have Yerman. Yerman says, dude, you couldn't find water if you fell out of a boat. So he says, I'll look. He will roll 2 dice. He needs a 5 or higher. I roll a 4 and an 8. He searches all around, and he finds no way out of this cabin, so they've got to go back. So we got to go back through here. So let's do that. We're back to north, and north is Gimel. Gimel says, I want out of here. He runs across. Does he take any damage? Let's see. Remember, it is a grit. No, it's a gate. That was a hazard, and the hazard was, I'm going to look again to make sure. Exposure was a grit. So Gimel has a grit of 2, and I rolled a 5 and a 3, and he manages to push through it. I'm going to have Terman run. He just rolls 1. His grit is 1. And he rolls a 4. He doesn't beat the 5. So he manages to burn himself pretty good. And I'm going to mark him down as going down from his guts is, where's his guts? 5. He is now down to 4 health. Okay? Next up is Nazid. Nazid runs across, and he only rolls 1 die for grit. He rolls a 3, and he also takes a point. He goes from 5 down to 4. And then last, the wizard who laughed it off runs across. He only rolls 1. He rolls a 6, and he laughs again. You guys got to toughen up. And that is going to be it for the events. So they manage to 1, 2, 3, 4. They run back. And they say, well, that was a dead end, so we know where we got to go. So we've got to go to the south to keep looking. So here's what I'm going to do. Because I sort of know where things are going, I'm going to shake it up a little bit. How am I going to do that? Well, for the south, for going south, I'm going to change it. So we are now going to lower this to a 7. I'm treating that as 1 tour. We're going to lower this to a 7. We are going to re-roll for the difficulty. Now you can do that on page, where was it? You can roll for the difficulty. I know you can. Here it is. You roll the d8. On a 1 to 2, it's established. 3 to 4, familiar. Let's just roll for it. I rolled a 5 again. All right, so it's not going to be any more difficult, and we will roll randomly. We'll southeast, east. So in the next video, east, which corresponds to Nasid, I think of him as my thief, but he's not really like a thief. He will be heading this direction. He'll be starting out, and we're going to follow this path. And this path is interesting because it splits to the left and the right, which is going to be curious. But I have this false bridge that I need to get across. I'm going to save that for the next video because I think that's kind of a fun way to do it. And again, the first few videos of this are going to go slow. It's only because I'm sort of making this up as I go. I am having to hunt down the rules that I need, and also just learn the game with you as you're watching. So in the next video, we'll head south, and we will probably, I suspect this will take me 3 videos. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. I haven't decided if I'm going north. When we get to this passage, we'll figure out which way we go. So I hope you'll join me on the next video. Again, if you have any questions or comments, if you found any errors, please point them out. I want to know where I'm making errors so that I can play this game correctly. If you want any more information about RipCrypt, I will include it in the video description below. I have to tell you, this game, it's written by now I'm hoping I got his name right. The game is written by Kynan Antos. Kynan, I do apologize if I got your name wrong. I've had some discussions with him via text messaging, and he's very, very cool. He's got some great videos. I'll put links for those as well. He has a YouTube channel, and he's also producing some additional content. This is the quick start. It's something that can get you playing the game very fast. It's a slim version, stripped down version of the main rule book. This one is an actual adventure. It's called a Delve Kit, Volume 1. It's called Echoes of the Aqueduct. And I probably will play this at some point for you, because even though you will know what's coming, it's all based on dice rolls and decisions that you have to make. Now, one last thing. Kynan is also releasing a new expansion book, which I believe he told me mine is in the mail. And I cannot wait to get it. It is another book to go along with RipCrypt, and it is specifically focused on solo RPGers. It takes some of the random generation of the obstacles, the hazards, the terrain, and all, and it adds more. So I'm waiting on that book to see how that will help me, and maybe, not so much this adventure, but upcoming adventures. So stick with me as I learn this game. I really, really want to keep playing this. I think it's just so cool. But I will be back in a week with the next video, and I hope you'll join me then. All right, everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me. Again, RipCrypt. I will see you in a week. Everybody, take care.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.